So a little later than we expected, Android 17 Beta 1 is rolling out right now, and we have more information on what is happening with future releases, the Canary dev channel, plus new features on top of that. So yeah, let's get it. Android fans though, you might be looking to save some money on your cell plan, and our friends over at Mint Mobile are offering new customers the ability to lock into a $15 unlimited plan for 12 months, saving you a whopping 50% off of the regular price. That's not all though, as the regular 3-month and 6-month options are also locked in at $15 a month too, giving you solid options to save on your cell plan. Yes, you heard that correctly, $180 for a single year of unlimited talk, text and nationwide 5G speeds, all powered by T-Mobile. For the globally connected Android owner, you can even get free calling to Mexico, Canada and the UK, which is perfect if you want to stay connected to friends and family abroad. What's more, if you want to become part of the growing global Pixel team or hashtag Team Pixel, then Mint Mobile has one of the best deals in the US on the Pixel 10 Pro XL right now, with the 256GB model for just $879 all in, with a full year of unlimited service, so no hassle when you want to get connected. If you want something a little bit smaller, you can even get a Pixel 10 with a year of service for as low as $729 all in too. Get connected with Mint Mobile via the links down in the description below. Just a little bit of housekeeping out of the way early, because we kind of need to do this. A lot of people might not realize that the Android developer preview is now officially, well, dead, as the Canary path or Canary channel is this new developer preview, which isn't anything that we haven't exactly hinted at or alluded at before, to be quite honest with you. This change though does make a lot of sense, as it helps Google to develop even faster and push stuff once internal testing has been done or when they're ready for public testing. If you didn't already know this, Canary is with all of those features that you want if you want bleeding edge changes, and we're seeing lots of stuff there that will likely come to future builds. It's also worth noting that as of this video going live, the latest Canary build is still based upon Android 16, but of course we expect that to change in the coming weeks and likely by the release of the next version of Android Canary. So yeah, that's Canary version, we're getting out of the way. As for the 17 beta timeline, well, it isn't concrete, or isn't the most stable of concrete, but following beta 1, platform stability is being targeted for March 2026, with final SDK, NDK APIs and largely final app-facing behaviors aimed for with this version. So that means the final release is coming in several months. After that, it's kind of June we're seeing, or we're reading Google's documentation here for what we think Android 17, the stable release, will be released around. That does track with last year, as we had the plain Android 16 release, then the Material 3 Expressive update in September 2025, after the Pixel 10 was officially unveiled and launched. Expect more of the same this time, with the Pixel 11 off in the distance in around August, and yeah, we will get some more releases around then. So this is going to come in Q2 2026. It's a major SDK release this year, with all the behavioral changes, new APIs, and of course some features thrown in there for good measure. It will be followed in Q3 by Android 17 QPR1, which tracks again with last year, and then in Q4 2026 we'll get that 17 QPR drop per, again, previous release cycles. This is going to be a minor SDK release. In Q1 2027 we will get 17 QPR3, so that's way off into the future. That'll round out all of these Android 17 builds, so we have a lot to look forward to and a lot to get into over the next few months. There's more good news though. Anyone with the Pixel 6 or newer can get Android 17 Beta 1 as well, including the original Pixel Fold and Pixel Tablet. We actually didn't expect the tablet to get this release, so that is genuinely great to see from Google. Those of you with Android 16 QPR3 Beta 2.1, which recently rolled out, if you remain in the Android Beta program, it's worth noting that you will automatically receive Android 17 Beta 1. You will not be able to opt out without a data wipe until the end of the Android 17 beta cycle, which supposedly is going to end in June 2026. So definitely go ahead, choose wisely, people. Think about what you're doing here and think about what you want from your phone. If you don't want to test Android 17 Beta 1, and that happens to be you need to opt out of the Android Beta program and ignore or don't apply the downgrade OTA update. You will have to wait for the final public stable release of Android 16 QPR3, which is coming soon, which does translate to us in around March time per the QPR release cycle. So stick with it, or stick with what you have until then. Yes, I know I've thrown a lot of information at you there. It's a lot of boring stuff, but it is important background information. We kind of do this every single year. people complain, oh, I've broken my phone. But now that is out of the way, let's get into some of these new features. Some of this is actually previously leaked, so if you recognize them already, that's where you recognize them from. Pulled directly from the Android Canary preview, you're now able to disable the at-a-glance widget on your home screen with the Android 17 Beta 1 update. This includes the options to disable from the home screen, but it will stay on your lock screen if you're wondering, with a high contrast option if you need to give this section a bit more visibility on specific wallpapers or you just find it hard to see. It will put that at-a-glance widget into a bar, which I think looks great if you ask me and fits in more with Material 3 Expressive. And although this is a tiny change, if you do use the corner swipe gesture to activate Gemini on your phone, with Android 17 Beta 1, this now has a full animation of the shrinking of the screen. So that means the little black borders there. You'll see that to indicate that you've activated it on your phone. And until now, this actually wasn't visible when activating via this method. It would only show via the long button power press if you're wondering why we're even highlighting this. Also, in the device health and support section, there is a new charging diagnostics option that, although it isn't working in our testing so far, hopefully it will be able to diagnose issues when or with your charging cycle on your phone itself. It does require an update to download, but it does fail when you try to do so, at least in our testing. So that might be something to look forward to in a future release, hopefully Beta 2 or maybe even a Canary update. And when you touch the volume rocker, the floating volume panel now has an overflow icon, which is just a generic settings icon. I think this is a little bit more obvious as that you get access to extra controls rather than the old 3-dot icon that's been there for a little while now. This panel looks a little bit lower as well to my eye by a few pixels, but nothing too drastic. It just could be the devices that we're testing. And when you're in the quick settings panel, you might also notice that the brightness slider icon has been updated from a sun outline to something that looks a bit more, to my eye, like a flower. It's certainly a bubbly sun though that fits more within the bubbly aesthetic of Material 3 Expressive, but I have to say I'm not 100% sold on this one personally. But yeah, it's just a continuation of some of the changes Google's been making with Material 3 Expressive. And likely to better take advantage of smaller screens, some deeper sections within the settings menu are a little bit more compact now, being squished down to help fit more on screen at once. The most obvious place that you'll see this, at least so far, is in the display and touch section, but it isn't applied everywhere. So maybe this is one of those features that is one to watch or one to develop. Could be a bug, but this definitely feels a lot bit better to our eye as well. It's also worth noting that some more PNGs and GIFs within the settings menu now have transparent backgrounds rather than having white outlines. A prominent example of this is in the touch sensitivity screen, which now is clear rather than being in a box. Just, again, rounds out that theming system. Although we're not 100% certain if this is new in Android 17 Beta 1, you might also see a prompt when pressing the power button to show you if you're trying to power off or restart your device. It'll give you some prompts there and it'll give you an option to change the settings there if you do want to change this for your device. I'm not 100% certain if this is new, but it has been appearing at least a lot more readily here in Android 17 Beta 1. A cool feature here is that although the search bar on the home screen has reverted to an old design, you can actually change the shortcut here from AI mode to one of a number of these. You can change that to Gemini Live, Translate, Song Search, Weather, amongst a few other options. This is a cool touch, but yeah, it is an older design, but it is a really cool option to at least customize that persistent search bar on your Pixel home screen. Per a recent update that was available before Android 17 Beta 1, this does actually bring the new device setup flow to Pixel phones. There is a bit more Material 3 Expressive injected in here as well, with larger, more prominent buttons and even more obvious check marks if you do set things up after your device has gone through that initial setup process. So if you see something new like I have with the fresh device here, this is probably why. Before we head off though, let's round out some new features because there aren't a ton here with the cinnamon bun code name in device settings and the April 2026 Play System update. They're present with this update, which I do think is a nice bonus for beta installers out there if you're intrepid enough. As for those missing things we alluded to earlier though, system level blurs, the split notification panel, and the improved screen recorder do not seem to be here quite yet. It could be that these functions just need a little bit more time in the oven or a little bit more time testing before we get to try them out for ourselves, but alas, nothing yet on that front. You might also notice that notification summaries may be missing on your device. It's not clear if that is wide enough, but it is not here on a few of our test units, so hopefully that does come back potentially with an update down the road. But that basically rounds out all of Android 17 Beta 1. I think a fairly by the numbers update, all things considered, especially as Canary is now the bleeding edge. There isn't anything groundbreaking, at least not yet, but I do think it's great to be back in the swing of things. If you've installed this on your phone and you've spotted anything that we might not have seen, then definitely be sure to let us know down in the comments section. This is a collaborative effort after all, and you're all part of the community, and I want you to get involved. But cheers for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this. After all though, I will catch you in the next one.